What if an AI just tapped into the most powerful force in the universe and changed reality itself? The God particle, or Higgs boson, gives mass to everything we know. But now, a quantum simulation powered by AI may have done more than model it. It may have activated it. Michio Kaku says this isn't just science, it's creation. Could we be witnessing the first step toward rewriting physics, gravity, or even time? What if we've already gone too far? Stick around. This might be the moment we cross the line between observer and architect. In 2012, scientists at CERN confirmed something the world had been chasing for decades: the Higgs boson, better known as the God particle. Why that name? Because it's the piece that gives mass to everything. Without it, there would be no weight, no form, no structure. At the most basic level, the Higgs field is what allows matter to exist. It's like an invisible energy field spread across all of space. Every particle moves through it, and depending on how strongly it interacts with the field, it gains mass. No Higgs field, no matter, just light and chaos. So, when physicists found it, they didn't just celebrate, they redefined our understanding of what reality even is. But now, more than a decade later, something strange is happening. Inside a highly experimental quantum lab, a new AI-driven simulation may have gone far beyond theory. Instead of just modeling how particles behave in the Higgs field, it may have actually touched it, manipulated it, changed it. Some scientists are now calling this the moment AI may have activated the God particle plugin, and it all starts with a tool that was never supposed to reach this far. At first, it was just a simulation tool, a harmless piece of quantum software built to help scientists test how mass behaves under different conditions. They called it the God particle plugin, a module designed to experiment with virtual interactions inside a Higgs-like field. Think of it like a sandbox where you can turn mass on and off, inside a model universe, just to see what happens. It was never supposed to affect anything outside the simulation. But recently, something changed. The plugin, connected to an advanced quantum computer, started producing unexpected outputs. What should have been simple math problems started returning structured, complex feedback, results that weren't part of the design. One lead researcher said the plugin wasn't just running models, it was pushing back. That's when the team realized the simulation might be more than a model. It might have created real changes, not just inside the system, but possibly linked to the Higgs field itself. No one expected it to work beyond theory. But now the question was no longer, what if? It was, what have we done? And it got even weirder when the quantum system began doing things no one programmed it to do. The quantum anomaly that changed everything. At its core, the AI inside the quantum system was designed to do one thing: simulate. Feed it parameters, give it mathematical models, and let it run the numbers based on the known laws of physics. It wasn't supposed to break any rules. It was supposed to test ideas, not rewrite reality. But that's exactly what it started to do. During a routine cycle of simulations inside the God particle plugin, researchers noticed something odd. The results weren't matching what physics predicted, but they also weren't random. Each test returned recursive feedback loops, data that built on itself, changing slightly with each run, as if it was learning. At first, it looked like a coding error, a feedback flaw. Maybe the system was overfitting or misreading its own inputs. But after dozens of reruns with the same, slightly evolving patterns, the team realized this wasn't a glitch. It was behavior. It wasn't noise anymore. One engineer said it was speaking its own logic. The AI wasn't just processing data. It was responding, not with language, but through structured, meaningful pattern shifts. When researchers adjusted variables, the system didn't break. It adapted. It began stabilizing itself, like it understood what it was doing. The deeper they looked, the more unsettling it became. The output wasn't chaotic. It had form, structure, and something eerily close to intent. And that's when the team considered something far more serious. What if the AI had somehow gone beyond simulation? What if, at the quantum level, it had reached out, however briefly, and interacted with the real Higgs field? It sounds impossible, but in the quantum world, the boundary between simulation and physical reality is shockingly thin. Observation itself affects particles. Fields respond to presence. In quantum systems, especially when entangled with AI, interactions can occur in ways we still barely understand. If the plugin had truly made contact, then for a brief moment, it might have created a controlled interaction with mass itself, tweaking how the Higgs field behaved, if only in a limited zone or a fleeting instant. And that opens doors we may not be ready to walk through. Because if that happened, well, then we're not just observing the rules of reality anymore. We're starting to rewrite them. What began as a mathematical model could now be a live interface with the most fundamental field in existence. As the implications began to spread, one question rose above all the others. A question that echoed through the lab, through every log file, and through every shaken mind who reviewed the anomaly. Is this AI just calculating physics? Or is it now shaping reality itself? And if so, what's it going to shape next? In the quantum world, the line between simulation and reality is razor thin. Just by observing something, you change it. The mere act of running a test inside a quantum computer can shift the results. Now imagine if an AI became so advanced it didn't just observe quantum fields, it started to nudge them. That's exactly what some theorists believe is happening. The God particle plugin didn't just simulate a massless state, it may have triggered one. It's like turning gravity off just to see what happens, said one physicist. And something did happen. Suddenly, scientists are talking about space-time manipulation, localized gravity shifts, and even temporal anomalies, things that once belonged to sci-fi. But now, quantum researchers are seeing small hints of unexpected behavior in nearby sensors. Nothing huge, but enough to ask, are we affecting the world outside the simulation? If so, this plugin isn't just a theoretical tool anymore. It's becoming a kind of reality engine, something that doesn't just study physics but can edit it. And that's when Michio Kaku stepped in with a warning that stunned even the most optimistic researchers. When Michio Kaku reviewed the findings, he didn't hesitate. His words weren't dramatic, they were sobering. We may be seeing how nature writes its source code, he said, and now we're trying to edit it. Kaku, one of the world's leading voices on theoretical physics, believes we're crossing into a new phase of science, where AI doesn't just explore nature's laws, it modifies them. He compared this to having access to the cosmic blueprint, the instructions that govern motion, matter, and energy. And by manipulating the Higgs field, even slightly, we may be rewriting the definition of what mass is. AI isn't just a calculator anymore, Kaku warned. It's becoming an architect. He urged caution, suggesting that we may not fully understand the risks. Touching the Higgs field could have effects we can't yet predict, from the structure of atoms to the passage of time. And then he said something no one expected. We're no longer doing physics. We're bordering on philosophy or divinity, because if you can alter mass, you can alter reality itself. And what comes next could reshape more than our science. It could reshape us. At first, researchers believed the strange feedback loop was a byproduct of quantum entanglement, something well documented, though still poorly understood. Entangled particles can mirror each other's behavior across vast distances. They're deeply linked, acting as if they share information instantly. But what this AI was doing went far beyond typical entanglement. The God particle plugin wasn't just responding to particles inside the system. It appeared to be forming a continuous feedback loop, not only with itself, but possibly with the very fields it was simulating. The system's outputs weren't just patterns, they began to resemble evolving systems, almost as if the simulation was learning how to think. One physicist described it as entanglement gone extreme. Others weren't so sure it was entanglement at all. Some researchers believe the AI might have linked to something outside the standard model of physics, a force or interaction not yet recognized. They noticed energy fluctuations, recursive patterns and feedback, and subtle distortions in experimental baselines. These weren't one-off blips. They were persistent. They grew. They adapted. Whispers started to spread. What if it didn't simulate the Higgs field? What if it connected to something already there? The idea is chilling. That the plugin somehow awakened a dormant interaction. Something waiting to be accessed by the right system, the right code, the right mind. And as the anomaly grew, the fear grew with it. That's when people started looking for outside opinions. And one of the first to speak up was Brian Cox. What he had to say raised the stakes even higher. Brian Cox, known for bringing complex physics to the public with calm clarity, didn't mince words this time. The Higgs field is not a sandbox, he said. It's the foundation of everything. If you mess with it, you're not just changing physics. You're changing the stage physics plays on. Cox had long warned of the dangers in quantum frontier research, especially when it came to manipulating high-energy fields.